it's Jen. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about some anticipated new releases that are going to be coming out in the months of April, May, and June. So kind of some spring releases that I'm excited about. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think I have about 18 books I want to talk about. Now, of course, there's a lot more books that are being released, probably some that would be amazing and I would love that I don't even know about. So please leave any comments down below of any books that you're looking forward to released in spring that aren't on my radar. That would be awesome. Okay, so let's just get started with April 2nd. We have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Now, I already pre-ordered this book and I'm so excited. It's Abby Jimenez. I don't even need to know what it's about. I'm going to read it, and most likely, if the pattern follows itself, I'll give it 5 stars. So this one we're following a guy named Justin, and he has this curse where every time he dates a woman, after they break up, they go on to find their soulmate. And so another woman kind of has the same thing going on. What is her name? Let's look it up. I have my computer down here just to kind of keep me straight with all the books I want to talk about. Emma. So Emma also has the same problem. And so they kind of meet, they decide, you know what? If this keeps happening to both of us, let's meet up and date and see what happens. Maybe it'll break the curse kind of thing. So you're following that. You have Justin, who has a toxic mother, and somehow, we don't really know what, but he gains guardianship of his 3 siblings. So we have that trope as well, which I've never really read that before. Not that I can think of. So that's exciting. This is going to be contemporary romance. It's obviously fiction. You're gonna love the characters, I'm sure, and the love story is gonna have just enough weight in it to be believable. And the sexy, steamy times are gonna be perfect. They're not gonna be closed door, but they're not gonna be uncomfortable, or, in my opinion, you don't want to read it on a bus, right? And you're just like feeling uncomfortable and you're blushing. So not too bad, but just the right amount of spice in her books for me. And yeah, so as soon as I get this one in my hands, I'm gonna read it. So look forward to that. Okay, the next one that we'll talk about April 2nd as well is Nosy Neighbors by Freya Sampson. Now, I've never really heard of Freya Sampson, honestly. I was looking on NetGalley, and this cover caught my eye. It just screams Lucy and Ethel to me from I Love Lucy, so which is one of my favorite old-timey shows. I can watch reruns of that all day and be happy. Yeah, so in this one, we're following a 25-year-old Kat Bennett, and she has some kind of past where she has guilt from. We don't know what that is yet. And we have 77-year-old Dorothy Darling, and she is kind of a grumpy old lady that's a little vindictive. They both live in the Shelley House, which is a really old building. I think it's historical. And even though Kat and Dorothy don't get along, their building is facing demolition, and so they decide to pair up and try to stop that. And also I don't know what crime happens, if it's a murder or whatnot, we don't know yet, but and I don't want to know, I want to go in not knowing, but they decide to team up together and try to kind of amateur detective and figure out what's going on with their building and in their building. So that sounds really, really good. I think it's going to be a cozy mystery. I think I'm going to laugh and I'm going to enjoy it for sure. I'm hoping it'll be a new author for me to check out. So, okay, now April 9th, I have 2 on April 9th as well. The first one is A Sweet Sting of Salt by Rose Sutherland. Again, Rose Sutherland is an author I have personally never read from. This one is a historical fiction fantasy. It's a retelling of The Silky Wife. I don't even know what that is. It's a classic folktale, so I'll have to check that out too. And this one, we're following Jean. I don't know if this takes place in present day or the past. It's kind of unclear to me from the description, but Jean wakes up in the middle of the night, and she hears someone crying, and she goes out, and there is a woman who is in labor, doesn't speak English. Jean is the only midwife in the village for miles around. So she's trying to help this woman deliver a baby, find out who she is, how she got here, all of that. And apparently the wife, she meets the husband of this lady, and her husband has kept her pregnancy a secret, and we're not sure why. I love the cover on this. It just is so intriguing to me. So that is one I'm looking forward to. All right, the next one on the 9th is Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. Now, Megan Miranda and I have a weird relationship. I gave 4 stars to The Perfect Stranger and All the Missing Girls. And then I read Fragments of the Lost, which is a YA, and I gave that 3 stars, and it probably would have been a 4 if I was a young adult. So those are the 3 I've read. But then I heard not so great things about Only Survivors, which was her release before this one, so I just kind of took it off my radar. But her premises always get me to want to pick them up. So this might be one I check out at my library, try a chapter, see if I'm going to like it. We are following Hazel. Hazel is the daughter of Mirror Lake's longtime local detective, and she unexpectedly inherits her childhood home. And so she goes back home, which is a trope I love. There's another one in this list where you have that going home trope. It is very windy outside. I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me and I don't have to refilm this video. All right. Okay, so Hazel, she goes back home. Her mom disappeared 10 years ago. No one really knew what happened. Well, this town is going through an extreme drought, and the Mirror Lake, the lake that the town is built around, starts to go have a drought, and the water level starts to decline, and literally secrets emerge. There is evidence in a car that may finally explain the mystery of her mother's disappearance. So we got thriller, mystery thriller. I heard it's a little slow burn in the beginning, but the plot of the story and the twists and turns make up for that. I've also heard Hazel Sharp may be a forgettable character, so I'm a little bit torn on this one. I'll probably just get it from the library, but it also could be a 4-star read. I really like some of her books, so we shall see. Okay, next one, April 23rd. Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, I've already pre-ordered this one. As soon as I get it in my hands, I will read it. I have never not loved Emily Henry book. So this one sounds, hopefully it'll be Emily's typical writing of a romance, but that you like, that has some depth, because that's kind of key for me with my romance. And also, her books make me laugh, just like Abby Jimenez. So those are my 2 auto-buy romance authors. But Daphne has a fiance named Peter. Everything's going great, and they decide to move back to Peter's hometown to begin their life together. And then Peter tells her that he realizes that he is still in love with his childhood best friend, Petra. So now Daphne is stranded in this town with an ex-fiance. She does have her dream job of being a child librarian, so she kind of wants to stay put, I'm assuming. But, being a children's librarian is not going to be paying big bucks, right? So she is trying to look for a roommate. And the only person that, of course, in Emily Henry style, of course it worked out that way. So she ends up becoming a roommate with Miles Nowick, and he is Petra's ex. So you kind of, opposites attract trope, forced proximity in here. And so they decide to act like all for show to get back at their exes, to act like they're dating. I'm sure, obviously, they're going to fall in love, right? But yeah, so this one sounds like a really fun read that I hope to be reading by the lake. Okay, April 30th. We have Geneva Rose has a new book, Home is Where the Bodies Are. I've only read one by her, and I liked it. I have a couple on my shelf, so this is an author, I'm like, what am I doing? Just start reading, pick it up. It's ridiculous. But we have mystery thriller. It's 270 pages. Her books tend not to be really too long, so they can be quick reads. I think there's short chapters in hers, and, page-turning chapters, cliffhanger, ending in chapters. So she kind of reads quickly for me, what I have read. But she also wrote The Perfect Marriage and You Shouldn't Have Come Here. But this one sounds really good. So we are following a mother that passes away, and we have 3 estranged siblings that need to reunite to they reunite to take over and clean out their mother's house and all of that. So we have Beth, who's the oldest. She's never left home, and she has stayed with her mom and has been the one that has cared for her to the very end. We have Nicole, who's the middle child, and she kind of was kept at arm's length because she has ongoing battle with a serious drug addiction. And then we have Michael, who's the youngest, and he lives out of state and hasn't been back to their small Wisconsin town since their father ran out on them 7 years before. So while they're going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit those happier memories. However, the nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night back in 1999 that none of them have any recollection of. And on screen, their father appears to be covered in blood. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it before the video abruptly ends. And that's all I want to read. So I think the siblings probably go on to say, do we want to look into this? Do we want to let it go? What? So that sounds amazing. There's the next one I want to talk about is May 7th, and This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. Now, a lot of people really, really, really love her romance books. I read one of them, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't live up to the hype for me. So, oh gosh, what is the name of it, you guys? Every Summer After. So Every Summer After was all the rage. I think it was last summer. I did read it. I gave it 3 stars. I think it was one of those books where it was hyped up too much for me. There was nothing wrong with the book. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't a 5-star. Like, everyone was so excited about it. So I have not yet picked up Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. It got lower ratings than Every Summer After. And since I was kind of on the outskirts of my rating for Every Summer After, I decided to just kind of wait and give it time. But This Summer Will Be Different has higher ratings than Meet Me at the Lake. And so, we'll give it a try. Probably be a library rental. I don't think I'll go purchase it, but we have Lucy, who is vacationing at a beach house on Prince Edward Island, and Felix, who is a local that kind of shows her a good time. They kind of have a fun weekend, probably a one-night stand kind of trope, and then Lucy finds out that he is her best friend's younger brother. So even though their chemistry is there, there's a list of reasons why they should not be dating, and they vow not to ever repeat that weekend again. So it's easier said than done. Each year, Lucy comes back to Prince Edward Island, and they have this ongoing summer love affair. And so that's kind of where we pick up, and I'm not sure if her friend even knows that they're doing this, but that's all I want to know. So I'll probably check that one out. I'll kind of wait to see reviews come in and see if it's being rated high, and if people are loving it, then I'll probably grab that from the library to give it a try. Okay, May 14th, we have a couple coming out May 14th, 3 of them. So the first one, The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry. And I have another one by Christina Henry on my shelves I haven't picked up. Good Girls Don't Die, and that one looks really intriguing. I believe Christina Henry wrote like more YA and then started just now dabbling into adult titles. So I'm excited to read Good Girls Don't Die. This is going to be horror, adult, gothic, mystery fiction. We are following Harry Adams, who has always loved horror movies. So it's not totally a coincidence that she took the job cleaning house for movie director Javier Castillo. And she's cleaning this mansion and keeping her head down because she's hearing she needs the money to support her son. So even though she's hearing noises behind locked doors and she hears people calling for help, she still decides to stay and work this job. And so it sounds like this home has some secrets that she can't ignore. So this one looks like it's going to be pretty spooky. I'm excited about that one. All right, the next one in May 14th, is The Honey Witch. This is by Sydney J. Shields. This is a female-female romance, fantasy romance. So we'll see how I like it. This will be kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse. Like, I haven't read a lot of male-male or female-female romances. But what intrigues me is we have the cover. The cover was a total, I'm like, I want to read that. The cover's beautiful. It was another NetGalley find. But we're following, and I love stories about witches, so there's that too. So we have a 21-year-old Marigold Claude who prefers the company of the spirits of the meadow to any of the suitors who've ever tried to woo her. Sounds like she kind of feels like she has a curse and she's never going to fall in love, all this stuff. So Lottie Burke comes along, and she's kind of a grumpy skeptic who doesn't believe in magic, and somehow she ends up on Marigold's doorstep, and we kind of follow the story from there. It sounds like there's some dark magic that awakens to destroy her home. We're not sure exactly what that is, but that's basically, it's a love story, fantasy romance. I want to check it out. This cover is everything. It's so pretty. I want to live there. Okay. Next one, The FiveYear Lie. This is by Sarina Bowen. Another one, cover grabbed me looking at NetGalley. I love everything about this cover. Never read anything by Sarina Bowen before. This is another suspense mystery thriller author. I love trying to find new authors because that's my go-to favorite genre. But we pick up on a Monday morning. Ariel's phone buzzes with a disturbing text. It says, "Something's happened. I need to see you. Meet me under the candelabra tree as soon as possible." So the words would be jarring from anyone, but the sender is the only man that she ever loved, and it's been several years since she learned that he died. So, of course, when she sees Drew's name pop up, her heart is pounding, and she can't resist but to go to this tree. When she does, no one is there. So you kind of find that, you follow the story from there. Someone's messing with her. She says, "Only two things are clear. Everything she was told 5 years ago is wrong, and someone is still lying to her. The truth has to be out there somewhere. To safeguard herself and her son, she'll have to find it before it finds her. And with that, the answer to what became of Drew." So, don't want to know any more. This one already has a 4.15 rating on Goodreads. So that looks promising. Next one is May 28th. We have If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay. I love Alex Finlay. He's a great mystery thriller author. This one, we are following Ryan Richardson, and his girlfriend they were in a terrible accident, and his girlfriend, I'm guessing, dies. It doesn't say that, but he keeps reliving this terrible night for years and years and years. It's just totally ruined his life. And there's no proof that he had anything to do with it, so he wasn't charged for this car crash. He ends up going to law school, trying to put his past behind him, until on a summer trip abroad to Italy with his law school classmates, Ryan gets a call from his father. Allie's car has finally been found submerged in a lake in his hometown, and inside are 2 dead men and a cryptic note with 5 words written on the envelope in Allie's handwriting, and it says, "If something happens to me." So I don't want to read anymore. This sounds amazing. I know this is going to be one I can't put down, and I can't wait to read this one. I think it would be kind of fun to read If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay. Read this one like close to Daughter of Mine, because we both have a car that resurfaces, which I thought was funny, or such a little coincidence, but that might be a fun little vlog to do too. We'll see. Okay, next one is June 4th, The God of the Woods. This one's by Liz Moore. I read The Long Bright River by her, another one that was super hyped for me. It was just okay for me. I give it like 3 or 4 stars. I felt like it was like 100 pages too long. I enjoyed the story and the characters and the writing and everything. It just seemed to drag a little bit for me, and it was definitely a slow burn. So that's kind of what the middle of the road rating for me, but I definitely like her as an author, so I want to give her a second chance and see what I think. This one sounds really great. Another really gorgeous cover. The covers this year, you guys, of 2024 are just, I don't think they've ever been this good. I'm loving all the covers. We're following Barbara Van Leer in this one. She's discovered missing from her summer camp bunk one morning in August in 1975. So obviously this triggers a panic and a search for any kid, but the twist is that Barbara isn't just any camper. She is the daughter of the owners of this camp, and they also own the surrounding land. Also, this isn't the first time that a Van Leer child has disappeared in this area. So Barbara's older brother was also missing at 16. No. Barbara's older brother also went missing 16 years ago, never to be found. So they're just shocked. Like, how can this happen again, twice to the same family? And in this, we're going to get a richly textured drama, both emotionally nuanced and propelled by a double-barreled mystery, chasing down the layered secrets of the Van Leer family and the community working in its shadow. I don't want to read any more. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I'll be picking this one up for sure. All right. We have 4 more to talk about. June 18th, middle of the night, Riley Sager. Yes, please. Anything Riley Sager. Love him. Mystery thriller again. This is going to be a jaw-dropping thriller. I think this might have a little paranormal in it, but I'm not sure. That's just me kind of guessing from the synopsis. But we're following Ethan Marsh, and July, when he was 10 years old, him and his best friend Ethan were spending the night in their backyard, and they wake up in the morning and the tent is cut and Billy is missing. This happened on Hemlock Circle. I live on Hemlock Court, so oh boy, right? So 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home, plagued by bad dreams and insomnia. And so he starts noticing someone kind of walking around the neighborhood at odd hours, and he keeps feeling like he sees signs of Billy's presence in his backyard. So is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned? I don't want to keep reading, but we're going to have, again, a return home prompt, or a return home trope. I love that. And we're going to get all the kinds of creepy. I'm so excited. I love Riley Sager. Okay, the next one is The Nature of Disappearing by Kimi Cunningham Grant. I can't wait to get my hands on this one. Last year I read These Silent Woods, and it was one of my favorite books of the year. The writing was beautiful. She really did her research as far as one of the characters had a little PTSD from the army, and it felt, I believe the army, some kind of military, but it felt realistic to me. And the writing was beautiful. I cried in that book. There was a mystery in it that kept me, I had to know what happened. It was such a good book. I recommend it to a lot of people. So of course, this book coming out, and the cover, again, gorgeous cover. I kind of want a vacation there. Okay, so we're following Emmeline and Jeneva. They're best friends. Emmeline and Tyler are dating, and Tyler, she thought was the love of her life, left her freezing and half dead on the side of the road 3 years ago. So she kind of moves on from that. She tries to start her life over. She is now living kind of in the middle of nowhere in Idaho, in solitude. She has a couple friends in the community, but she is a fishing and hunting guide, and she's kind of just keeping to herself, living in her Airstream trailer. But then Tyler shows up, and he has the news that her best friend Jeneva is missing. So now Emmeline is propelled back into the world she worked so hard to forget. Jeneva, it turns out, had become a social media star, documenting her life. With her and Tyler had some social media where they went and traveled and explored and became like rugged survivalists and social media stars. But Jeneva hasn't posted anything lately, so it's kind of, Tyler's story is kind of fitting. So Emmeline and Tyler kind of have to kind of group together to try to find Jeneva and track her down. There's still some chemistry there between Emmeline and Tyler, and so you kind of follow them as they search together to find their best friend. I kind of butchered that one, but it's gonna be good. All right, next one is The Next Mrs Parish. This is the second book by Constantine. The first one was The Last Mrs Parish, which I actually want to reread before this comes out. I read it so many years ago and I loved it. So I don't want to say too much, but you're going to be following Daphne and Amber Parrish again. And that's all I'm going to know. I'm not going to say anything else, but this one will be I'm going to auto buy that one too. But this one I will be picking up as soon as it comes out. All right, the last one I want to talk about comes out June 25th, A Novel Love Story by Ashley Posten. Now, you guys know I did not like the 7-Year Slip. Everyone loved it, but I did not. But again, this one sounds so good, and this cover is gorgeous. We're following Eileen Merriweather. She loves to get lost in a good happily ever after. The fictional kind anyway, because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. So she's got a past, she's afraid to love, it sounds like. So she feels safe in a book. which might be why she's so set on going to her annual book club retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and grand romantic gestures no matter what. So on the way there, her car unexpectedly breaks down on the way, and she finds herself stranded in a quaint town that feels like it's just right out of a novel, because it is. So again, we got magical realism and fantasy in this one. The story picks up in this town that is straight out of the book. It's Elora Town, which is the town of her favorite romance series. And she feels trapped there because she's in that author's last story that is not finished yet. So we're picking up there. I'm going to give her another try because this sounds amazing. I'll probably, again, check it out at my library before I buy it, although this cover is so pretty. I love it. It's amazing. It's definitely speaks spring and summer to me with these bright colors. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some titles that you're going to add to your TBR. If there's anything that I didn't mention that you think I would like or that you're excited about, please comment down below. And thanks again for stopping in, and I will see you later. Happy reading. Bye.